welcome today at the races here on Friday in Maryland. Hi, guys. Callie Francois with Keith Fusel. Keith, let's go ahead and dig it right into those prices that we had yesterday. Starting off, Spitzer Mine, $23.60 winner with J. Ron Barbosa and Crystal Pickett there at the start of the early pick five. By his absence, William Humphrey and Hugh McMahon. This is another second-time starter when those two teamed up at a price.
That was a really big effort. Was up with the pace early, dropped back, and resurged late to get it done. That was a strong run through the final eighth of a mile. I did not think that one was going to get back up, but did with a flourish. Yeah, and the prices kept coming, Cal.
They did. All threes. Hammy Smith, first-time routing with Cruz, a 9-1 to $21. And then Midday Image, our first turf race of the season, $11.80 winner with Midday Image for David Jacobson, giving Angel Cruz his second winner of the day with a bit of a price. So there we have it. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got going on right now outside there at the track. We've got a pretty nice day ahead of us, Keith, like we did yesterday.
Gorgeous day, close to 75 degrees, partly sunny, a little bit of a breeze. So if you can, get out and join us for this Friday card. We've got a big weekend ahead of us. Started yesterday. We're going to crank it up today with some really good racing action. Great stakes action tomorrow with the Tezio, the Weber City Mist. The Whiteley's a really big, good field of sprinters. Beat the Expert, hence the shirt today. You're going to see it today. Tim was modeling yesterday the white. I've got on the noir, the black color, and then we've also got a yellow. So whoever beats me tomorrow, you're going to go ahead and get yourself a shirt. Even if I beat you, I think you still deserve the shirt. So, yeah, everybody's a winner. Everybody should be a winner here at Laurel Park.
And let's start with hopefully a couple of these winners here in the early pick five. That starts here in race number one. A starter optional claiming 12.5, going a mile and an eighth on the dirt. Keith, let's talk about your top selection in the rail horse and crush it for Hugh McMahon, William Humphrey at 9-2 right now.
Yeah, we've got the same four horses, right? It looks like the action's going to be among these betting interests. The 1, 3, 4, and the 5. For Love of Country has some speed. So does Ace 9-9, not quite carrying it. I think Crush It just holds a little bit of value, and that's what I'm going to key upon in this opener. Crush It's a horse that can just jump up and wow you. Last couple races, I win 2 back with a 70 fig at Penn, but you go further back off of a break back to October, beating the likes of Rusty's G550. I like the inside post. This horse can lay a little bit closer than what he has recently. I think you're going to see William Humphrey put him in the race. Inside and speed was pretty good yesterday. We'll see if that trend holds true this afternoon.
And there we have it. You also have the number 5 underneath, as we mentioned there, with Up Against It, Damon Deal DeVico, Angel Cruz, who had 2 winners yesterday coming out of those starter optionals. Just stretching it out. This one has tried the mile and eighth distance already, Keith.
I think he can handle the mile and eighth. He's just had a couple tough trips. Not really a lot of steadying or anything going on like that lately, but uncomfortable. He hasn't been able to settle and just kind of go ahead and make a run. Was caught in between very fast internals last time a race had set up. He's been a victim to Clubman here twice. Clubman in razor sharp form came back in just another good second off of that race. But I think we're going to get Angel Cruz today. We saw him settle Midday Image yesterday on the turf and work that kind of inside out trip to rally. Maybe Angel Cruz can get up against it to settle, save some more ground early, and advance into the pace.
Let's talk about Mystic Link. We have a video spotlight from that last time effort with Mystic Link. Jamie Ness, Jamie Rodriguez teaming it up together again here today.
Yeah, what's he going for? His third straight here, Callie, I think. Mystic Link, and just kind of that speed stalker, but a horse that just kind of keeps on grinding. He's under a hustling ride here. You see from the 3 ace pole is going to work his way up to the top of the stretch and get his sights on the leaders. He's going to find a little bit of a seam, shifts out, and gets it done. He's a determined type, and you love a horse like this that can kind of keep himself out of trouble, has enough speed to stay within range, and just keeps on chugging to the line.
Absolutely, wrapping things up here. Mystic Link, just with Ness here and Jamie, it's hard to deny, but just the grittiness that we saw in between horses in that last effort out for this level definitely seals the deal.
And lost my voucher. A confident move, just right there with Mystic Link in that short field not so long ago, but improved speed that day. I didn't really see that coming from Lost My Voucher, but confidence, he looks to be in good form. I think he'll be forward again and stay the trip. This is a good little opener here between those horses.
And now let's talk about the opener in the early pick four.
Okay.
Keith, you've got a ticket for us. Let's take a look at how you have that lined up today.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and single a horse in the opener, race 2 of this pick 4. Free admission, Jamie Rodriguez. Go 2 deep in race number 3 with the 1 and the 2. Race 4, 3 deep in there. The 1, the 4, the 6. Key scratch of the 2. Mayhem Miss was supposed to come down from New York. We'll wait for another day. Race 5 is an absolute scramble to me, Callie. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11. Maybe I don't even have enough coverage there. $18. We need to get this single home with free admission. You want to throw the stat right off the bat?
Yes, let's go. Let's dig into that stat on your
Okay.
top selection in the number 6 free admission for John Salzman Jr. Against Jamie Rodriguez here today.
Yeah, we're going to see a stat. It's a good one. It's a shorter sampling size, but last 3 years on the dirt, John Salzman Jr., 4 for 5, 80%.
There we go.
5 for 5 in the money with the maiden special weights going to maiden claiming. ROI 384. We saw one of his runners do this not too long ago. Absolutely gouting. Now the name's escaping me. I have it written down, but I've got so much scribble on here that I can't find it. But anyhow, this one's back. Issue definitely before the layoff. Gunned inside and then faltered. I think they might have things straightened out here. Hopefully this horse can break sharp, control it from the inside.
Absolutely. And then underneath, you and I both have to, for crying out loud, with Mikey Gorham, gets the blinkers on and gets Victor Carrasco back on. Victor Carrasco rode this one first time out at Parks back in July when Mike Trombetta had this horse. So this is first in the claim barn for Mikey Gorham, 14%. Just clearly, with the blinkers on, is going to probably, hopefully, have a little bit more to offer here.
I like the fact that they hold the level with her, right? I think that's a good sign. First claim, we know this barn is good. Just got some value. Unfortunately, this value is going to be chopped a little bit because of the scratches, the 1, the 2, the 4, and the 8. So moves in closer, but I think off of the route and even the 2-back track has enough positional speed to lay close and just chase and stay around.
Absolutely, I agree with that as well. You and I both include the 3 underneath just to add things to the mixed course choice. Brittany Russell gets Fergal Lynch here today. Comes from that turf effort. Siblings have run on the turf, makes it kind of clear. But, of course, you've got the Brittany stats.
Right.
Brittany Russell, 3 for 4 in these last Gulfstream horses that she's been picking up and running here in Maryland. So 2 of them have been winners. So just a recent little barn trend there.
Yeah, immediately with the family, the top dirt figs for the siblings aren't great. Nothing to write home about. You go second down, though. The Lone Start was a winner, sprinting on the main track. Those horses off a little bit of slow in that race at Gulfstream on the turf. Made a fairly decent run to the inside at the 3/16 pole. The run just fizzled from there. But you've got to respect the barn. Definitely going to come well down, well below that 5-1 that I had her lined. Let's go to the third.
Let us go to the third in that starter allowance for the girls, going a mile and a 16th on the dirt, 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you both, you, myself, and Tim Tulloch both have the rail horse Cartwheel for Jamie Neskett's Jamie Rodriguez here today, coming from off of the pace. And majority of this one starts, but this one does have a little bit of speed to offer if needed.
Yeah, if you go on the go back, you know, that was her game. Let's go to the front. Let's control things. So let's see if that happens. She was a little sluggish last time, had a duel develop up front into the turn at Parks, was able to work out in the clear, but did come with a good, sustainable run. A little sketchy there with that voided claim 2 back, but a protect move here today. Again, the way the track played yesterday, I think you see Rodriguez forward enough, can kind of get this horse in a position. Maybe she's a few lengths back of Esperanto, who looks like the speed, but I think she's got that grinding style that can get it done. Probably going to be a little tighter from that morning line. 7 to 5 and 3, maybe they're a little bit closer when things are all done.
And, of course, Barista Vixen for Robert Johnson, right to the outside of that. Ricardo Chappie coming in for the ride, but it's been a successful trio in these starter allowances going on these off tracks. So finds a fast track here today for the first time in a while, but this one is 3 for 14, just consistent, a consistent second, because 6 for 14 specifically in second on a fast track.
Yeah, she's good either way. It doesn't really matter. The key is she leaves the friendly confines of Penn National at Granville, Pennsylvania. Will she be able to bring that form here? I think she's going to be really tough. This is a barn, doesn't run a lot here, but he's a high percentage barn up the road. So, yeah, has run against Cartwheel. They've kind of taken turns beating each other in the past. I think this horse, has to be used, unfortunately, a little bit shorter price. Viking Queen's a trier, might be one if you're kind of looking just to be cute, not use both favorites. Maybe that's the one to kind of key in your exactus.
There we go. 1, 2, 3, 5 for Keith Fusel there in the start of the. Excuse me, Now is the start of the Rainbow Pick Six
Mm-hmm.
here. In race number 4, I am going to line up this structure for you, and this is how I take a look. I don't, listen, I wish I could have gone super wide in race number 5, but I felt like it was kind of, you go one way or the other in race number 5.
Okay.
I had to opt to go the other
Mm-hmm.
way. 1-6 here in the opener with Liquidator and Happy Clouds. Race number 5, I go with 4 and 5. Give it a go. And Love Machine. If I had the option to go wider, I definitely would if
Mm-hmm.
I were you. Race number 6, single on the 10 box and Ben. We all have this one as our shared top selection. Race number 7 is where I do go wide. There's plenty to offer. Your value play is in there. I like your value play. I
Mm-hmm.
like enough. I like to make an argument enough for every horse in this race,
Wow.
which to me makes it a little bit unpredictable. So I go
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 6, 7 with that. Race number 8, I go 4, 5. 5, 6 is Abracadabra and Our Nation on Parade. Hopefully for Our Nation on Parade, just gets a little bit more of a luck today for him. And 3, 4, 7 there in that maiden claiming 12-5. Why not go 3 wide? Because it is a maiden claiming 12-5, and you never know what is going to happen in those affairs. A $24 ticket,
Mm-hmm.
but like I said, add in race number 5. But we're going to talk about race number 4 in this allowance optional claiming 62-5, going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old fillies. Let's go ahead and dig into your top selection. Jolly Miss Jill for
Yeah.
Ned Allard gets the blinkers on, and Rosario Montanez.
Yeah, interesting here. The blinkers going on speed. And we're going to be synthetic. Okay, we're going to come north. Barn change. A lot of positives here. It's been a good move for Ned Allard of recent note in Maryland. But two-back Chase Money's Gold. Absolute killer. What a superstar it looks like this one is. Buyers of upwards over 100, unbeaten in 3 starts. So she's close enough to stay with that one for a quarter of a mile, half of a mile. I think with the blinkers going, let's go ahead and go. Happy Clouds comes off the route. She was taken to a firm hold that day, made a nice move, and kept on going strongly. But maybe that dulled the speed just a little bit, and that inside post could force her hand and be a little bit further back. I want to see Rosario Montanez on the engine here with Jolly Miss Jill.
And then you also have the number 6 Liquidator for Linda Albert, Ty Sly Pusina. Just really overall consistency is what we're getting at. We're cutting back in distance from that 7 furlong effort here today, which I'm not sure if this one is going to appreciate. I know this one loves that 7 furlongs, but is capable over this field today.
She's just good. She's just a trier. Ty Sly Pusina gets along with her well. She breaks cleanly. She'll relax just off the flow, and I think and move into it. She'll fight you. Sometimes she'll hang around on that left lead. But she's tough. This is a good little race here, race 4. Jolly Miss Jill talking about the two-back race against Money's Gold. That third-place finisher ran a pretty salty number in debut in a maiden special weight state bred at Gulfstream Park.
There we go. There we have it. 4-1-6-5 for Keith Fusel. In the 4th race, number 5 is a claiming 10,000, which have never won 2, going a mile and 16th here on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you land on the number 2. Bodie Lynx, I had this one in my mix. Milan Milosevic, Justin Lewis comes second off of, we're still spaced out a little bit, but second off of a big enough layoff.
I needed some Advil or something after looking at this race.
Yeah.
First doing the line, then trying to handicap it. Yeah, Bodie Lynx, you've got a lot of horses to me in here that are going to kind of go out and chase, force the issue. And I think just patience might pay off with Bodie Lynx. I know that track yesterday, you didn't want to come further back. And he sometimes finds himself 8, 10, 12 out of it. But a decent move into it before flattening last time. I think this horse with patience can sustain against this group. Take the short way home.
Okay, there we go. There we have it. You and I agree on a couple horses at least, and one of them is the number 5 Love Machine, Crystal Pickett, Angel Cruz. Crystal Pickett had a big price yesterday, right in the first. So I believe a $23 winner there. Gets Angel Cruz here today. They teamed up last time out here, but gets the 8.5 mile and 16th here today, as opposed to the 1-turn mile last time out on and off track.
I think that'll work. A good try at a mile and an eighth a few races back. That was in another barn. Okay, but you've got an accomplished rider in Cruz. We talked about his ability to find position, settle, and finish. He's going to need every bit of his talent to get it done, to get this horse over the top in this type of race. It's going to be a grind. Battle of attrition the last eighth of a mile here. But Love Machine facing the right kind, I think, certainly fits.
Absolutely, and then you also have the number 6 right outside of that underneath Nomi Diaz, Sammy Davis, J.D. Acosta. Why not? Key race, 2 back, right there. gets a fast track again today.
Exactly. Back to the two turns. The mile and a 16th, the stalking type of runner is Nome de Gas. We'll make a move into it, and I think just stay around. Race 5 is that tough. I went very deep in my early pick 4 ticket. A couple horses I don't have in here, but I touched upon it. I used the 3 Never Silenced. Here we go. There's a horse that just was buried in a 3 in life at Charlestown. We're going to pick up the bug. We've got inside speed. Did win on the front end before. I bet 5/8. This horse just might get brave at a price. You don't want to see Solomon sneak away. So I would use that one as well as a protect move. And the 11 who draws in Luke at the spot just based on the barn change. This is a high percentage when they move to this barn.
Well, Never Silenced also remembered Rudy Sanchez Solomon 23% as of recently on that second time router, so that might help out your number 3 underneath as well. Wide open affair there in race number 5, and we'll be right back to talk about the rest of Friday's card after this commercial.
Pop, pop, it's showtime, showtime, showtime. Guess who's back again? Oh, don't believe me, just watch. Hey, 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 oh! It's gonna make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. I'ma leave the door open. That's right, we out here tripping in finesse. 'Cause you're amazing, just the way you are.
Carrot Magic back here in Maryland. He was here 11 years ago. It's going to be fun to see him back here again. But we also have some fun in race number 6 with that jackpot super high 5 carryover from yesterday, 18,054. So starts in race number 6. Get ready.
Yeah, this bet, now that we're kind of singling, we're putting there in the middle of the card, the bigger fields, getting some action. It's a wake-up call. So if you're not used to playing it, you may want to jump in. This thing is really growing rapidly.
Absolutely, and it does highlight here in this maiden claiming 45,000, going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the straight 3-year-olds. Keith, you, myself, and Tim Tulloch all have Box and Ben on the outside. Let's take a look at that effort last time out.
Thought it was a good one. Hadn't been seen since August, right? Returns here in early part of March. Ready to rock and roll. Quickly opens up 3. On a track, not a super fast track. Gets to the front, gets to the inside, it just gives way ever so grudgingly. Assume nothing, just a little too good. It run a 74 prior for Brittany Russell, and Rapoli just faced a little bit better horse that day. This horse has got that under its belt. You go back prior to the layoff, who this horse faced at 2, the right kind. Setting sail again. Might be able to take him coast to coast today.
Did all the hard work
last
time out. Did straight up. So let's talk about the number 6 in Ragtime Riches. You and I both have this one underneath for Anthony Ferrier. Arnaldo Boca Chica couldn't beat the winner first time out in Left Hand Thread for Salzman and Moberly. Sibling Zippity Gal also won third time out. So 7 was a bit of a reach. We get back the distance today.
That's the key. You put it perfectly, because it looked like he was just being used a little too much too soon, because he didn't want that leader to get away at the 7/8. Made the move and just could not keep going that last 1/8 of a mile. Back a furlong here, back to 6 furlongs today, I think will certainly help the chances. This horse will be a stalking type in here. Delegated. Again, here's Brittany bringing it up from Gulfstream. I'll let you talk about that one a little bit.
I mean, this one is coming from here's the thing. This one is coming, just knowing how the barn operates, this one is coming from the Pletcher barn. I'm looking at these works at Palm Beach Down. They were trying to do everything they could. Now, mind you, the times are not going to be particularly quick at Palm Beach Downs. This isn't it's a fast track, but a little bit like the Thoroughbred Training Center when you're looking at times like that. So they wait for this horse in June of last year. Clearly not very brave, and you go back to these Brittany stats, first in the barn, first Gulfstream to Laurel, but I'm just worried that especially they gave this horse one time, came back at Gulfstream, just still wasn't enough. It wasn't the muster. So blinkers on, much needed.
Yeah.
I need to be proved, especially just this one went to the Delaware barn, Delaware string, a 51 flat. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. I just want to see a little bit more zing, and hopefully the blinkers gets that done.
I think that I think he's going to take a lot of play based on the connections, no doubt. And
Fair
he
enough.
doesn't have to improve a ton. And the kicker is the horses that he ran against. He's coming out of key races. That 4th place finisher in February, Mr. Peaks, came back to run an 87. 2nd place finisher in 83. So the horses today really don't look like they're that fast. So just a minor improvement in delegated will shake things up here a little, I think, a little bit in the sixth. Let's touch on the first-time starter, the 4-horse Contempt. Recently, we talked about motion, but sneaky good sometimes with these dirt horses in a protect move. My violence is Contempt. 18% with the first-time starters, but half the Majestic Reason and another couple other runners that have some quality have run well in debut. So that bodes well for Contempt. Would not be a surprise, and will come down a little bit, I believe, off of that line.
I would have to agree with that. Taking a look at another, I would also put the 4 underneath as Keith Fusel goes 10, 6, 7, 4 there in the 6th. And the jackpot, super high 5. Highlighted race, and race number 7 is this restricted allowance for the girls going a 1-turn mile, 3 years old and up. Keith, you have the number 2 on top. This is your value play of the day. Fast tracked. I love this filly for Arnaud Delacour. Georgie Ruiz gets back in action. Bit of a rough go, rough trip, just unlucky. Rough trip in that 1-turn mile last effort out here back at Laurel Park.
Visually very impressive as a 2-year-old in those races over this surface. In Stakes Company and the Maryland Juvenile Fillies behind Malibu Moonshine. She came back kind of thrown to the wolves there. That first try, too tough. And the next time out, just didn't get a chance to show her talent. You see the comment, steadied along between horses. She was bottled up and never, ever got comfortable. I'm looking at the field. There's a couple other horses that probably be forward, but I think if she escapes that first quarter of a mile smoothly, maybe she doesn't have to be on the lead because she can be just off of it. The family, talking about the mare, slow and steady. We've got the Renaissance Awards tonight, right? Up at Citron in right near Pimlico. Unfortunately, I was supposed to help Dave Robin as some family issues arise, so this week's been a tough week for us. So thanks to Dan Illman, he's going to be helping out. But Slow and Steady is going to be honored tonight for Maryland Broodmare of the Year. 7 stakes performers from 10 runners, a family that can get a route of ground. So I'm interested to see Fast Track because I think she's going to show her talent today at a price.
I agree, and especially those first 2 races that she showed here at Laurel. Not only she really dug in that first time effort out, but then she had some really bumpy action there on the offgoing in the Maryland Juvenile Filly. I almost put this filly a bit further up in my placing, so I'm excited to see what she has, especially the price morning line price of 8-1. Keith, you have the number 3 Money's Worth underneath for Graham Motion. Gets Victor Carrasco today. Your current 8-5 morning line favorite, but I have to Premier Choice. Doesn't come from a super strong field, but did all the right moves. Yeah,
That's perfect, Callie. You say that because I touched upon. I'm trying to figure out that number. Where did the 85 come from? You know, comparatively, the times were good, and I like the effort. Up close, dropped back a little bit, and then came again. But I don't know how strong this group was. I mean, when I really kind of broke it down, I know that was a 6-5 Jonathan Thomas, but hadn't run anything kind of like those figures. So that was the key for me with Money's Worth. If she's a little bit vulnerable, stretching out's a good move. She came back. I'm sure she got a lot out of that race down at Tampa.
Absolutely. I agree with that. So that's why I have her on top. I was very impressed with how professional she was as an individual. So that's kind of, sometimes with numbers, they definitely have their place, but you have to look at the horse as an individual, and I liked what I saw, which is why I have this one in my top selection. Let's talk about the number 4, though. Italian Dressing for Hammy Smith. Angel Cruz, really nice effort stretching out last time out. We get to keep that same 1-turn mile distance here today for this filly. So maybe just another go at this distance here today.
Absolutely. Just kind of taken under a really snug hold. And that was Silver Currency. The Brittany horse just absolutely galloped that day. I didn't see that race coming, but she's very versatile as Italian Dressing.
Absolutely. And then this number 6 underneath, She Is Whiskey. We're waiting for that explosive She Is Whiskey that we saw back in the previous barn, but Brittany Russell, she's become a little bit of a plotter filly, but she just needs to keep getting a little bit more luck. I think she might like this 1 turn today a little bit better. And let's go ahead into race number 8, into this allowance, a mile and 16th on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you have the number 2 on top. I like Vance Scholars, Phil Cap, Georgie Rui comes back to ride this one where he's gotten some success with this one.
Yeah, Ruiz knows this guy, right?
Yes.
And this race, I think is going to set up just to his likings. Abracadabra, really, really good. He's been in exceptional form. He's outside, ain't the beer cold, got some speed. His best work is kind of going out to the front. You've got a horse with first-time blinkers, American Patrol. This trainer with blinkers, very, very strong. So I think the flow is just going to be just right. Van Scholars has a chance to kind of settle. Ruiz knows this guy, will draft up into position, and I think he can kind of get it done.
I agree. So I like it. I just want to see it again before I have this one further up in my picks. So you have to go with number 6 on the outside. Abracadabra, hard to deny. Gary Capilano gets Carlos Lopez. Only lost out to American de Oro that last time out. So returns back off a bit of a layoff. A nice work on April 2nd. A nice bullet work going 5 furlongs.
Yeah, and we're going to go back to the race 2 back. This is going the mile and a 16. So last time out at 1 turn. This was 2 turns. We're going to get 2 turns today. Boy, if he brings this effort back, Callie, it could be lights out, 1-2 tree, right? Bruno San Martino back in the old wrestling days. But anyhow, boy, just had it all together, cruised up 4 wide, and just very eager to the wire. This is a big effort. He'll get that prompting position outside of Ain't the Beer Cold, maybe American Patrol. We'll have to sustain a little bit better. I don't think they're going to go away like maybe those horses did you saw on the 15th. This is a quality group here. Our Nation on Parade been knocking on the door, been a victim, to a couple really good horses, including Nimitz Class.
Right.
So he's going to get that move into it. Will he be able to kind of sustain a little bit better than he has recently?
Exactly. And Ain't the Beer Cold on the inside speed, going to try and make a run for it with that inside post. Race number 9 is going to wrap things up in this maiden claiming 12-5, going a mile and 16th again for the 3, 4, and a 5-year-olds. Keith, you and I both have the number 7. The first-time starter for Horacio De Paz starts singing Dixie. Gets Axel Concepcion here today. But again, Horacio De Paz, as of lately, 20% with his first-time routers. 3 for 15, 2 seconds and 4/3 to add to that.
Yeah, you get horses to go long first time out, so that's the key. That's it. I kind of defaulted into this pick, so really nothing special. I know you'd have a little good stat there. Thank you to back me up. We'll take a shot with the 7, start singing Dixie. Secret Sanctuary, I don't know what happened last time. This horse has burned some money, but I think he's going to be a lot better today. I think he's going to have to be forward when really looking the way this with the scratch of Doc Rock. So I think he's going to be a much improved horse today and kind of be on or just off the lead.
Exactly. So 7-4-3-5 there for the last race of the day here on Friday, and we will head on over to our lightning round actually to talk about Keith Fustel's best bet and value play of the day. Take it away, Keith, with your best bet.
Best bet, we talked about it early. It's going to come early. Race number 2, free admission. We showed you the stat, like 80% with these horses. Maiden special, maiden claiming off a break here, and they went out and searched Rodriguez. They're tremendous. They're like 4 for 11, I think, over the last year together, that trainer jockey combination. Value play a little bit later, and an ode to old Slow and Steady, right? She's been money. Fast Track hopefully gets back on track today and avoids that trouble through the opening quarter, 3/8 of a mile, and kind of relax a little bit into the flow and just grind it out.
A little bit of racing luck for Keith Fustel's value play of the day. I agree. Now we can head on over to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All right, good luck.